Hi everyone, welcome. So for those who are new here, my name is Anna. If you haven't seen me before, I am a clarinetist and saxophone player. I perform and I'm also an educator, and I'm the other half of the Woodwind Academy duo with Amanda, our resident flutist. So today I wanted to make kind of an impromptu live to talk about some tips for practicing with intention. So this is something that a lot of you guys have been asking about, and I've also been getting a lot of questions from my students about just feeling unmotivated to practice or having a hard time getting started in the practice room. So I'm just making this fun little short video. And if you're watching this, feel free to chime in with where you're from, what instrument you play. I'm going to be bringing out the clarinet in a little bit to demonstrate some concepts, but this applies for all instruments. So let's get started. So tips for practicing with intention. And this is something that I have also been struggling with this week, just kind of feeling motivated to practice or get kind of in the groove. So the last thing that we want to do, or that we feel like doing when we're not feeling inspired to practice, is be like, I am feeling like I really want to play all my major scales and long tones right now. That'll really get me in the practice room. Usually that's not what we're thinking. So I have been starting out my practice this week with just playing something for fun that I really enjoy. For me, I've been doing some Paquito de Rivera pieces, Samba for Carmen. That's a fun song I've just been getting out in the beginning of my practice routine. I'll play a little bit of it. It's a really cool piece. So I was just listening to it. It's something that I worked on a couple years ago, but I wanted to get better at it. So I just started out my clarinet practice with that because that is something that motivated me to practice. And I immediately just felt better about practicing and then starting my routine. So if you're having a hard time getting in the practice room or just feeling inspired or motivated to get in there, I would just suggest starting with a piece that you really love and a piece or listening to a musician that got you playing your instrument in the first place. It's probably not listening to a recording of someone doing scales or long tones that inspired you to start playing the clarinet, flute, saxophone, oboe, whatever you're here to play. So that is how I've motivated myself to just get back in that practice room and start playing something. And then from there, the magic of what I actually want to practice has kind of started flowing. So after I started with that, I felt more inspired to go through my regular routine. So you've probably heard us talk a lot about a practice routine, but what a good routine is comprised of is long tones. So starting and really thinking about my sound on the instrument, then doing some technique work. So working on my scales, major and minor scales, articulation, getting faster fingers on my instrument. And then I always make sure to do some etudes and solo pieces as well. And that goes for if I'm playing classical or jazz. When I'm doing more jazz stuff, I'll obviously have some more time for improvisation at the end and working on specific concepts and tunes that I want to play there. But I still want to make sure I'm getting the technique and everything. So back to my tune I was playing, Samba for Carmen. When I was playing that, I have decided that I'm going to try and transcribe Paquito de Rivera's clarinet solo, which is really amazing and also really hard. So when I started transcribing it, there's this really incredible arpeggiated thing he does. It's like, as you can see, that is what I'm practicing right now. So when I start practicing this, I was like, oh, I really need to work on my arpeggios because I'm not able to do that. So then I really started incorporating more arpeggios into my warm-up routine during my scale practice, since that's something I saw directly applied to that piece. So some major arpeggios. And especially working on those keys that I'm using in that piece. Another piece that uses arpeggios on clarinet that I revisit every once in a while is the Bach Solfeggio Metamorphosis. It's really, really an awesome piece. It's really hard. I use that to work on my technique, and that's all arpeggios. So yeah, I'm kind of just in arpeggio city personally, because a lot of the music that has been inspiring me this week just uses arpeggios. So for that one uses an E minor arpeggio. So I've just been doing different permutations of the arpeggio. So that's something that I'm personally working on. And practice tips are so personalized, and you might have a specific thing you're working on that's really specific to you, and you're going to want to incorporate more of that into your practice routine. So my challenge for you guys this week is what music inspires you or that you want to play. It can be a piece in your band or maybe a really great solo that you've listened to, and think about what is difficult or hard for you to do in that piece that you'd want to work on. It could be a certain scale, it could be getting your technique faster, it could be articulation, and that's something that you want to focus extra hard in your practice session. And so the other tip that is really important is you always want to be asking why you're doing a certain thing. So if your teacher is giving you something, or if you're just kind of working on something on your own, you always want to be asking, why am I doing this? What is the specific goal with this, instead of just mindlessly doing something. So when I'm working on my long tones, I'm thinking, I want this really great sound because of this piece I'm playing, or this is just what I'm picturing my sound sounding like on clarinet. When I'm doing my scales, I'm thinking about how it'll apply to this piece or a certain area of my scale that I'm having problems with. Or when I'm working on my articulation, I'm thinking again about a practical purpose for it, not just kind of mindlessly doing it. So that's something that's really individualized and that hopefully you're working on with your teacher. That's something that we're actually doing, me and Amanda are doing a class on with our Woodwind Academy students this month because it's super important. We're doing kind of a guided practice class where we're just all practicing together, and then I'm giving them specific suggestions of what to work on to kind of fine tune their warm-ups on their instrument, and also just kind of looking over some band music they're doing. So that's something that we do with our students and in our program that's really important. Making sure that your practice routine is actually working for you and that you understand what you're doing. So hopefully those are some helpful tips to think about as you practice. Just kind of to recap, so starting off with something that is fun and that you enjoy playing to kind of get in the groove if you're having a hard time getting motivated. The second thing is establishing a practice routine and understanding why your routine is using these things that are in the music you want to play, like scales, long tones, arpeggios, articulation, understanding the purpose for all those things. So always asking, why am I doing this? How does this relate to the music I'm practicing? And that'll just kind of make it more fun. So now I'm kind of like, awesome, I feel like I wouldn't use the word ecstatic to practice scales, but I understand the purpose for them now, and I see a goal for the specific reason I want to use them. And then the third thing is, well, I guess I kind of covered this in the 2 points. Finding a piece of music, analyzing it, and then just asking why you're doing a specific thing. So hopefully those are some tips to get you practicing with intention as you're working on your routine. And Amanda and I are actually doing a free 3-day practice reset class. It's going to be in October. We haven't publicly announced it yet, but if you want early access to the sign up link for the free class, we're going to be talking about practice strategies, music theory, understanding your music and ear training. Just comment below and I'll drop the link for the free class. We're super excited about it. So this is just kind of to get you thinking about your practice routine, and we'll go more in detail in the class. It's also kind of going to be a little preview of our program, Virtual Woodwind Academy, so the kind of stuff we do with our students to have them getting amazing results. So let me know what tip you found most helpful, and if you'd like me to drop the link for the class in the comments, just comment on this video and I will give you the early sign up link access. So happy practicing, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.